Yeah, so like I'm having discussion with 2-3 students regarding this, preparation strategy. This generation are super smart. Only thing they're lacking is common sense. It's extremely smart, I'm telling you. But they're lacking common sense. Ebrina, how is it like? You follow question bank, right? There are many today. This culture has evolved. Almost some 5 years ago, it was evolved, where the concept of guess questions came. Guess questions or important questions in exam. You open essay 16 important questions. Only essay 16 important questions. 4 questions will be there. இருக்குதே 5. அதில் நீ 4 கொடுத்து அது இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் சொன்ன எப்படி? இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்னா எப்படி? Like what? It should be 20% of the syllabus, not 60% of the syllabus. Correct? And the strategy, what I always tell people is 3/4 preparation strategy, which really works. In my time, it is only 2/3. That time, paper easy, jujbi, nothing. So that time, 2/3 is enough. If you prepare 2/3 of the syllabus, damn sure you will qualify. 3 months, if you sit and study both the groups, pakka you'll clear, even without coaching. I did without coaching, purely because the paper was easy. And you don't blame that since you qualified, you say it is easy. No, because it is easy, I qualified. It's not that I qualified, I'm saying easy, because it is easy. From the beginning, I'm very sure CA is not a tough course. I never felt this is tough course, honestly, promise. Because nobody around me told me that this is tough. So like all my friends, benchmates, wherever we sit and study, all of us are very furious in studies. Like, I mean, if at all, until exams momentum starts, we enjoy. Once exam momentum starts, 2.5-3 months, we study very good, daily 8-9 hours pakka, productively pakka. And every 1 hour, 1 hour 10 minutes, we take a break. We play chess. There's a magnet chess board, small chess board. We used to play the chess. Half an hour it will be gone there itself. Then again 1.5 hour we'll study. Again half an hour. And afternoon I used to sleep comfortably for half an hour to 45 minutes on the bench itself. We bring box, lunch and all. So on the bench itself, there itself we'll sleep half an hour to 45 minutes. Then immediately we'll start the second half session. Like daily 8 to 9 hours we study well. And that time there is no this much of guidance is available. Over guidance is misguidance. Remember, obviously, right? Over guidance is a misguidance. Too much of information today available is spoiling people. So you study question bank of one faculty. When you're reading, your friend comes and shows you another fancy book. Immediately your mind will be tempting. Should I follow that or this? Okay, at least you decided. Second book you follow. Last in, first out method always. Whatever latest comes, first one will go out. So, to best of my knowledge, based on my understanding, each and every student focused on 3 to 4 books for a particular subject. And how much time he invested on that subject is more than the time it deserves. Suppose audit requires 200 hours of efforts, is what I always tell. 130 to 140 hours of coaching or self-preparation, 70 hours of revision. I strongly believe audit can be cracked with 200 to 220, worst scenario 230. This is the maximum time that audit requires. FR requires hardly 380 to 400 hours with revision all put together. And AFM requires a similar timeline. If you're having in your hand close to 800 hours, you are done with group 1. Same with group 2. In fact, group 2 requires little lesser time. Because FR is lengthy, AFM is lengthy, audit is also moderately, not moderate. But DT alone is lengthy, not IDT. IBS paper, nothing. Technically, if you learned everything smartly, you can easily crack IBS. Now, what is happening in question bank approach? All that you ignored the concept of understanding the subject. You ignored. Nithuki put already. And only focusing on past examination, 10 attempts questions, 11 attempts questions, all that. And none of it repeats in the next exam. Because now institute is creating questions. MCQs itself you check. They are not repeated most of the times. They're creating every time afresh. So if you read the question bank, which just like, it is like, without a map, without a goal, go any route, whatever you want. Like, I mean, destiny. That means destiny. Okay, அது வந்ததுனா வரும், இல்லனா இல்ல. Question bank culture is that. Fast track culture is that. Fast track course. Fast track course, people after they enroll into fast track, they forget that they enroll into fast track. Whatever faculty covers in fast track course, only that they will revise. How many of you have attended fast track, honestly? Any fast track course? Yeah. Have you studied any additional topic that is not covered in fast track? No. This is the drawback in fast track. Because in fast track course, if I take audit fast track, I can complete this entire audit in 40 hours itself. But imagine how much I'll be skipping. By this SAS 610 you understand, 600 you understand how much is there in the standard. How each and every subtopic can be asked as a question we are discussing. In fast track, I'll just tell overview, SA 610, I hardly spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes I'll spend in a fast track, or maybe half an hour I'll spend, worst scenario, but not 1 or 10 minutes, which means I'll be skipping so much. You will be reading only that later on. And in exam, some other question will come. Like actually what is happening in fast track, like in the process is, student will attend some fast track course and he will do a parallel question bank reading. 70% of the each concept that they study, each concept, whatever is there in the auditing book, 60 to 70% will be covered for sure. You are covering. In each concept or in each standard, 30% of the topic you are ignoring. 30% of the topic. For example, take 610 itself. Just now we finished. In 610, you will be ignoring using the work point. You are ignoring independence and objectivity points to be checked for direct assistance. That you will be ignoring in a fast track, because in a question bank that may not be there. But in the next exam, that only comes. You will realize that. Now, 60% of the syllabus is what you are actually covering 3 times. Students are reading question bank 3 times. Almost. Fast track courses 1 or 2 they'll attend. Marathons they'll watch on the YouTube. This entire hours, if you measure, it will come close to 200. And the right process also takes 200. Which is where the certainty will be very high. It's all about probability. You may say, sir, many of my friends qualified on that method. Yes, of course. I'm not saying if any see, just because they qualified, the process adopted is not right. But there is a risk of failure is high. Always assess the risk percentage. In this process, the risk of success is high or the risk of failure is high. And choose the process where the risk of success is very high. That process will always make you like withstand whatever the tough scenario it is. The right route, that is always important. So at least from now, since you are having 3.5 months for November attempt, focus on the right process. 3 months. You're having 3 months. 75 days precisely speaking. 75 days. You're having close to 800 hours. Even if you start from scratch as per what I tell you for November attempt, result is in your hand today. Even today the result is in your hand. Ignore whatever happened till today. From now, be certain in what you're doing. Look at, like, suppose you adopted one methodology to November attempt. Whether this method works for me, whether this method not works for you. See, a method is something that works for everybody. If it is a right process, it works for everybody. Just because you're senior qualified based on one question bank, that doesn't mean you will also qualify based on the same approach. Lottery method is different. Correct method is different. Go with highly certain method. High success rate. You see, all business entrepreneurs meeting summits and all, when the CEOs and all are giving speeches, they only emphasize this word, right process, right process, right process. In my personal experience, I'll tell you, till date, after I started, like there's an institute called Shrestha. I hope many of you are aware of it. I never gave my classes for franchisee anywhere. You will not find my classes anywhere, any Google Drive, like Lecturewala, Byte series, nowhere. Because I firmly believe my lecture will be sold if a student like my lecture, not because somebody else promote it. Because CA final you buy, is it based on the brand which is selling or is it based on the faculty? Obviously the faculty feedback which is there. So the moment I realized that principle, luckily I realized it on the day 1 itself. So many franchises approached. I politely said, sorry sir, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. You know what is the term for franchisee? 40% commission. 40% is the commission I have to pay. So for every sale they make, I have to lose 40%. 60% they pay me. Okay, fine. So I just saw what will you do to ensure that my sale will be increased? No sir, we just list our product. Can I see the website? I saw 4 more audit faculties over there. For me, which means for that franchise owner, whether my class is sold, other faculty class is sold, doesn't matter for him. For him, the commission is 30-40%. He'll get. So which means I strongly believe that business model is wrong. So day one itself I realized somewhat like some people, some who are faculties already, they told me is, if your photo is everywhere, people will think you're popular. Popularity will not come by photo spreading everywhere. I can hire somebody and put my sticker everywhere in the Chennai. Yes or no? And the most wanted, they'll think. Okay, so that's not how it works. So what is the right process? Okay, let me be providing, like, what is my weapon of doing business? Honesty. People think they fail because they're honest. No. People fail because they are incompetent. Many will not accept their incompetency and throw reason on honesty. Even Thirudan requires skill. Thirudan means the thief. Thief requires a skill. Thief require a skill. So you go and try to steal money from somebody, I bet you will be caught immediately if you don't have experience. Yes or no? Stealing money requires, it's a very, super art it is. It's not that easy. You have to be very, like, the person who is stealing, he knows psychology very well. Which way, where if I touch, he will not react, So even stealing money requires skills. So if a person fails, most of the times, it's not because of his ethics, it's not because of his honesty, it's not that, it's because of his incompetence. Many things, right time, right time will never be there. You take a decision, work on it, it will work out. So always be process oriented. Even in Shrestha, we give the schedules to the students, we give timetable. And I think probably in the video classes, we are the first one to introduce the concept of timetable. What we do, like so CA Inter, almost many students who come to our institute are 3 to 4 attempts failed. 3-4 attempts. Recently, one result got 12th attempt, he qualified after coming to us. And I made an interview with one student who qualified in 18th attempt. 18th attempt CA Inter. Its interview is there. I made a live with him. Okay. All I want to say, like what I tell everybody is, whatever happened. Now start this process. Start from scratch. This much time you have. Follow this timetable. Watch the class. Like, see, if you adopt, coaching is a mechanism of learning. Be truthful to it. Like if you're watching classes, right? 100% you watch. 100% in the sense, like, not again 100% of the classes. 3/4 syllabus, suppose you want to watch. Suppose our batch is up to September 20. At least be attentive up to September 5. Where by when we will be covering 75% of the syllabus. That entire 75% of the syllabus, 100% you revise later on. And you go exam. Damn sure 70 to 80 marks will be from this only. No more confusion, because we studied 100% of 75%. So there is no lottery here. So definitely it will come. Like what many students do is, within a single topic, they do ABC analysis. Suppose 610, what are important questions you ask me? I can give you. But what if the other one which is tested? Immediately you will say caramharsha is waste. Yes or no? Will you or not? Obviously. So what I always follow, let me not get that kind of mark. So I selected some chapters in final audit, like digital audit, sustainable development goals, investigation, PSU audit, bank and NBFC audit recently added into the list. Like this 5 to 6 chapters I selected. These 5 to 6 chapters ignore, no problem at all. Are sir, what if question comes? Did I say question will not come? Obviously question will come. 35 marks it will come. For sure I'm telling 35 marks will come from that syllabus. But you are having 120 marks paper. In your hand you are having 120. And you are not aiming for All India first rank, right? I hope, by the way. No, right? Any of you planning for All India first rank, or all of you planning for All India first rank? So that you want to attempt 100 out of 100? This point will not apply for them. This point will not apply for, it's not intelligent, super dedicated people. Super dedicated people. All India first rank means 8 months is studied, remember. 8 months is studied. Okay, not like the way you study. You and me, we study. No, not that way. We study whenever we want to. They study always. 8 to 9 hours only they study. Most of the All India first rankers, they study 8 to 9 hours, 10 hours effectively. Maximum 10 hours effectively. If at all any All India first ranker said 16 hours I'm studying, probably he'll be studying the last 3 months. Not throughout the 8 months. Not throughout the 8 months. If you have 2.5 to 3 months time, for sure you have enough time to qualify single group starting from scratch. If you have 4.5 to 5 months of time, both the groups, from the scratch if you start, coaching or self-preparation, doesn't matter. You start afresh, you will clear. You study 6 to 7 months, you deserve an All India 35 to 50 rank. You study for 8 months and above, for you the competition is very less. All India first rank competition will be 5 or 6 students only. For All India first rank, the competition is 5 to 6, across India hardly 10, because how many will study? How many number of students you think they study more than 7 months consistently every day, 9 hours, one day break in a week? So rare to find. We take 3 weeks break for 1 week study. Honestly. So this process, if you follow, the chance of failure is very less. In the 3/4 preparation strategy, the chance of failure is very less, provided you have to be honest in this strategy. When I say 3/4 syllabus, these chapters, like out of 19, we have some 13 chapters. Is these 13 chapters nook and corner you have to study? No excuse for even one line. Remaining, you leave it, no problem. This is what you're also doing actually, but you are applying the same strategy in every chapter. That's the problem. So in this, if you apply 3/4 strategy in every chapter, 1/4 syllabus you will find and ignore. What if in exam this only comes? That is how the papers are also being tested nowadays. Like they're asking corner questions. So that 3/4 within a strategy, 3/4 of the chapter related strategy, that will not work. ABC analysis will not work. Directly look at the entire syllabus, leave it. Consolidation in final FR, for example, you can leave it if at all it difficult for you. If it's difficult for you, leave it. Consolidation, if you leave 50 hours, you can say 50. Because consolidation learning requires 50 hours of time. Because coaching itself will be 30-40 hours. You will be preparing some 10-20 hours. You leave consolidation, 50 hours you can save. That 50 hours you put on some 4 or 5 Indies, small Indies and all, and you can study well, and definitely you can score 10 out of 10 there. So leave consolidation. Remaining, you be perfect. In my CA final SFM, no, you will not be trusting. I never touched derivatives and forex. I didn't touch. No, I didn't touch. People told me, hey, 35 marks weightage. Okay, I'm having balance 65. My hand. And I attempted for 70 and I got 52 or 53 in SFM. Hardly attempted for 70. In that 10 marks question is wrong only directly. Typically speaking, 60 only I attempted. 52 I got. It's all about the perfection with which you present. In exam, what requires is perfection. And we have this nightmare paper called ISCA, which we don't understand. It's not that we don't understand. Nobody there to make us understand properly. Like I am making you understand the audit. Okay. So ISCA, no, what I did, that time practice manual. Practice manual, no, like earlier we have in ICA practice manual culture. Practice manual means all the question and answer format. Question bank, ICA question bank, nothing but. ICA itself releases question bank that time. So that practice manual is there. ISCA practice manual is 180 pages. What I did, 60 pages I tore off directly because I'll be tempted to read. So one big chapter is there, SDLC, System Development Life Cycle. There's a big chapter. From that, damn sure almost 20 marks will come. That itself first I threw it. Remaining chapters, how I evaluate is SDCL. This chapter takes almost for me 30 hours to study. Within this 30 hours, I can study 3 small chapters, where the weightage is 30 marks. So that's how I assess. And my mugging up skills started then. Superb, I mugged up. 5 days I studied before exam season starts. 5 days I studied. Almost I remember 60% of the syllabus. Day before exam, only ISCA is the one paper where I really revised for 20-22 hours day before exam. Somehow I studied and went, wrote, forgot. 47 marks I got. 6 to 7 days I studied hardly ISCA paper and cleared with 47 marks. If I tell this strategy, nobody will believe this. In the sense like they'll be worried, how 6 to 7 days. I studied exactly exam season before. So there is no scope that I'll forget. And that before 2.5 day, like 1.5 day, which I have, intense revision I did. And remember, day before exam, the way your mind works is different. Your mind will not work in normal way. People always ask me, sir, how should I revise this book in day before exam? You don't know how speed your mind works, how focused it works day before exam. That intensity is whole different level. Normally, if I give you this book and revise in 1.5 day, you will not. But if I give this book and ask you to revise day before exam, day after tomorrow, exam is there. The way your mind works is different. Believe in this. So, don't follow that lottery method strategies. Follow this certain method strategies. This is highly certain. Okay. Yeah. So, we'll start 6:20. 1 minute.